Today we'll be talking about modals versus auxiliaries. First, let's take a look at the difference between auxiliary uses of verbs such as be, have, and do. Be is used to indicate that the subject has a certain property or is identified as a particular role. It indicates membership in classes or expresses identity. These are known as copular be. For instance, Beethoven is a musician, and he was the one. Now consider these two sentences. Amy was eating a cookie, and Mark was sat on by his brother. What's the difference? Let's think for a moment. These two sets of sentences differ in terms of category. The first set, Beethoven is a musician and he was the one, they have the copular verb followed by a noun, while the second set has a progressive, was eating, and passive, was sat on by, followed by verbal forms. Therefore, the second set do not take the copular be. Now let's take a look at have. Have generally indicates possession. The possession can be concrete or more abstract, and the verb have in the examples below is followed by a DP. The wizard has a wand, Sam has a fever, and Will had an accident. Now let's consider these set of sentences. Dumbo has eaten a peanut, the bartender has drunk too much, Ricky has been dancing. What do you notice? These sentences lack the semantics of possession, and the syntactic structure is also different. In these forms, have is followed by the participial form of the verb. Lastly, let's take a look at do. Do generally means to accomplish or to perform something. It is required with negation. For instance, Katie did the dishes. Chris did a cartwheel. Katie did not do the dishes. Chris did not do the cartwheel. For the emphatic form, the verb phrase stays in spare form. Do. Katie did do the dishes. And for the negation form, the verb phrase also stays in spare form. Katie did not do the dishes. So do still stays, do, which is the verb, still stays in its bare form. The no past and no present, we do not select those for negation, since the tense in a sentence isn't in did, but in the silent no past. So it is expressed here. So Katie, which is the silent no past, did do the dishes. And that's where the tense occurs. Same thing for the second example, Katie did not do the dishes. How do auxiliaries and modals differ? For modals, according to Carney, unlike auxiliaries, do not take verbal inflectional endings. Modals also do not follow not, nor follow other modals, auxiliaries, or the infinitive marker to. There should only be one modal, and it must be first in the string of verbal inflection. Here are some examples. While the first one is grammatically correct, I should not eat chocolate, the other four aren't. So let's take a look. I can't eat chocolate. I want to should eat chocolate. I have not should eat chocolate. I have should eat chocolate. What's wrong? What do we notice? So according to Carney, modal verbs are in complementary distribution with tense elements. Therefore, there are instances of category T, and generally there should only be one modal under the T head. So let's go back for a second. I can, want should, have not should, have should. There are two modals in these. Therefore, under the T head, there isn't just one, there's two, which makes the sentence ungrammatical. However, an interesting fact is that while most English speakers only allow one modal, speakers from southeastern regions often allow a combination of might and could. According to Carney, evidence suggests that it is actually a compound, where only these two modals, might and should, can combine, and it must follow this order. This could be a counterexample to his previous claim that modals are single words. However, for the rest of our presentation, we'll only be focusing on one modal under the T head, since this is the generally accepted way of producing sentences. Now let's look at examples of a tree with the modal should. Shelley should eat fried grasshoppers, assuming that the DPs have already been done for us since it's been abbreviated with, by a triangle. So Shelley should eat fried grasshoppers. Here, T is should, which stands for the tense. And there is only one under the T head, which makes this structure correct, grammatically correct. I hope you have learned something from this video about modals and auxiliaries. Thank you.